Little Susie don't like hamsters 'cause they sneak into a room at night. Got a pen under her pillow so she can poke 'em in the eye, poke 'em in the eye. Won't let them catch her sleeping. She'll be alert when the hamsters are creeping. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Little Johnny loves a hamster named Brian. Gives him all his hugs and kisses. Sending out the hamster haters in the frizz to sink and swim with the fishes. Well, snakes all smile and the lizards laugh. Brian the hamster's Johnny's little gold calf. So we'll sing a song of picket fence, sing a song of pie. All my little homeboys poke 'em in the eye. Spin around the wheel, press your face up to the glass. Smile with your eyeballs, there's a pretty hamster's past. I don't see a carving knife, but the guy sure tells. Poking eyes is a way of life, at least we are not snails. Well, Nick the Slick is on a kicky lick, making some shtick over who flicked his pick. But he got nicked by Bisquick Dick, who always tricks dicks adequate bit. I'll pick up sticks while they try to throw pies at the multicolored flies, wearing their itty bitty suits and ties. But the flies are quick and they know the trick. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Hamsters I know are too cool for school. I know I keep them swimming in my hamster swimming pool. So grab your sneakers, teach your hamster how to fly, and if he gets rowdy, just poke him in the eye. Poke him in the eye, 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 poke him in the eye. How you doing, guys? Yeah, poke him in the eye. I look like I got poked in the eye this evening. I've had this allergy thing all day. This one eye, it's like, it's driving me nuts. And I don't have any eye drops. I cannot find them. I took them out of Rachel's purse like a week or two ago because my eye was bugging me then too. And I said, hey, where are those eye drops? Well, they're in my purse, but don't take them out. You'll lose them. No, I won't lose them. Can't find them. They're not lost. But I just can't find them right now. Anyhow, it's nice to see you guys with my one good eye. Tim and Carmelo and Anthony and Kathleen, Brett and Karen and Nancy and Dan and Tim. I think I already said hi to you, Tim. And Hugh. Jonathan. So, it's good to see you guys. It is a beautiful evening. Oh, hey, Paulini's here. Carolyn's here. Huben, 87, is here. And welcome, Ryan. Ryan is a new member. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. It's cool to have real good gardeners. Do you hear that, Alan? Alan, everybody else is a member but you, man. Alan's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like OG, man. Floribama Homestead, Monique, William, Love Cat, Mad Jeeper. I see you back, man. Adam, hello. It's nice to see you guys. So, hey, Peg. Peg in Central Florida. First time on the live stream. Well, welcome aboard. So, yeah, a tablespoon of local raw honey with cinnamon every day. That'd be nice. I do take it. I did take some local honey today. I'd like to get some local bees. It'd be cool to have bees. Cassie sends a super chat, says, D the G, the original OG, original gardener. Excuse me, I have eye poking to do. Nice, Cassie. Don't make Alan feel bad. I don't think Alan's not here tonight. We can make it feel bad. Alan's always here. Where's Alan? Pinch of cayenne pepper. Throw it in your eye. It'll hurt, but it won't cause damage. Stimulate circulation and tears. Oh. You know, I heard if you get a cut on your head, you could stop it with cayenne pepper. I don't know that I want to throw it in my eye, though. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of, it's like one of those prank channels, you know? So, anyhow, yeah, when I was younger, I've always had allergies. I've had allergies most of my life from the time I was a teenager. And when I was going to school, right, I already have the droopy eyelids, you know? When I would go into school, at certain times of year, my eyes would be itching and red, and I just looked baked, right? And I would also have like a little bit of a nasal thing going on, you know? Hey, man, like chicks were always inviting me over. Hey, you smoke? Want to come back for a smoke? I'm like, no. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to work in my garden and read my Bible. I wouldn't want to be part of a club that had me as a member. That's right. So, anyhow, it's nice to see you guys this evening. We are getting rain right now. And, hey, sweetie, I'm on a live stream. Do a take. It is raining, and I got my stuff planted ahead of the rain, which is exciting. And I put in, cassavas, and I planted some Seminole pumpkins. Now, it's late in the year for Seminole pumpkins, but I had to plant them, and I'll tell you why. You'll see it in the video. You'll see why I had to plant them, but I might as well tell you guys now, because I don't want you thinking like, oh, I should go out and plant Seminole pumpkins right now. No. You shouldn't plant Seminole pumpkins right now. But, I don't know if she's here tonight, but Heather sent me this beautiful care package in the mail, and I'm so excited about it. It turns out, 10 years ago, she got my original line of Seminole pumpkins, which I don't know where they originally came from. I planted Seminole pumpkin seeds, and I got these pumpkins that were like this big, super productive. They had all the vigor of a Seminole pumpkin, but they were they were a larger pumpkin, 8, 10 pounds, 12 pounds regularly. Very productive, very good flavor, very solid producer. And then they got mixed with calabazas, and they got mixed up with other Seminole pumpkins. Then I took the seed line down to the Caribbean, and it did not continue. They died out down there. I had very poor luck growing them. So I thought that seed line was gone. But she says, I got these from you 10 years ago, and I've been maintaining the line and not letting it cross. I was like, I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. That's like the coolest thing. And the other thing she sent me was, she sent me some cassava cuttings, and she sent me a gift card to Taco Bell. D to the G. Welcome back. Welcome to America. So thank you very much, Heather. God bless you. That was like, you absolutely made my week. I could not believe it. But why did I plant them today? Well, here's what happened. There were cassava cuttings in there. They went through the mail for 2 weeks, and inside of that sealed envelope, the humidity went higher, and the Seminole pumpkins were all starting to sprout. So they're getting planted. They got planted. I planted some of them in part shade. I planted some of them in the sun. Hopefully they live through this bit of summer, but there's nothing else I could do. So, yeah, if we can keep this, if I can bring this line back, and Heather, if these don't work, if you still have a few back, I may have to get some. So, yes. So, this evening's topic. Let's start the topic now. Here we go. You're watching Goodstream 189. I hope everyone is feeling fine. My garden's getting rain. Oh yes, indeed. I had to go out and plant some seeds, but now I'm inside because it's dark outside and I don't want to go out in the rain. And I'm hanging out here with all you good gardeners. Good gardeners. Actual content starts here. Well, welcome back, everyone. First thing I did when I came back to the United States was go out and get some Taco Bell. And I went to a cigar shop and I got some cigars. Yes, the rain is part of the tropical storm system in the Gulf. So, I am going to open up a document. As you guys know, I am a writer. And a long time ago, I used to write on Microsoft Word. But Microsoft Word is a piece of junk now. It got more and more complicated. The last good version of Word that I had was Microsoft Word 2000, and I kept it for 10 years. And then finally, I discovered OpenOffice, and then I discovered LibreOffice. And I use LibreOffice, which is just excellent. It is a free word processing software. I absolutely love it. So I am writing on LibreOffice things to feed your garden. No, we'll change that to things you can feed your garden. I want you guys to start thinking up free amendments for your garden. Go. If you have a free amendment, something free that you could feed to your garden, start listing it. Okay, number 1, enemies. I knew that was coming. You could feed your enemies to your garden. That's true. Biscuits. Biscuits. Cardboard. Ham. Feed your garden pizza with pineapple. Okay, seaweed. That's better. You guys are all jokers. My gosh. Dog. All right, it's going fast now. Weeds. Roadkill. Urine. I'm gonna substitute urine for pee. Wee wee. Okay, weeds. Yes. Leaves. Rabbit droppings. Good. Leaves, urine. Okay. Potato plants. Yes, you could feed your potato plants back. That's true. Dead women. Yes, I saw that. That was funny. Men work well too. Equal opportunity. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. Man, he's going fast. Pets. Okay. Potato plants. Fish. I am behind you guys. You guys are fast. Grass clippings. Yep. Comfrey. That's a good one. Mimosa. I got that rabbit manure a couple times there. Beet greens. Sure, actually feeding the beet greens to the ground is better than eating them. So beet greens are very high in oxalic acid. I don't like them. Plants. Plants. Yes, plant material. Pets. Ryan. Yes. Okay. Lawnmower clippings. I guess that would count as grass clippings. Chicken bones. Chicken manure. Here we go. Banana peel tea. Mary. Got your potassium today. Good. Hey, Suze. Dead women. Wow, that is so dark, Christopher. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Fish waste. Okay. Yep, fish waste. And those, that's like the best thing that comes out of an aquaponic system. Water hyacinth. Leftovers. Coffee grounds. There we go, Jim. Yes. Dead chickens. Buried food scraps. Sushi. Yeah, well, they'll eat sushi. It's expensive. Yeah, beet greens are full of oxalic acid, man. Beet greens will give you kidney stones. Leftover meatloaf. Okay, so you see, I'm behind you. Fruit cake. I'm behind you, fruit cake. Duckweed. I like that. Duckweed's a good one. Hair, hey, there you go. I actually have a big bag of hair from the barbershop right now. Wow, you fed your dad to your beds, Rachel. That's intense. Those who trespass against you. Fruit scraps. Small sticks. Rotten eggs. Yeah, you guys are good. You guys are good. Yes. Yes, you could feed them wild mushrooms. I actually threw a bolete into my jabuticaba tree today. Into the pot. Old potato salad. It's high in carbon. Hey, welcome, Garden of Twitty. Good evening. Spent brewer's grain. Oh, I like that. That's good for the fungi. Okay, so I'm making a pretty good list here. Smooshed bugs. That's good, Melissa. Cardboard, yes. It's slow, but it works. Salt water. Yes, some salt water is definitely good. Catfish heads. Mulch. Mulch. Eggshells. My gosh, there's so much stuff here, guys. Armadillos. Junk mail. Sawdust. Oyster mushrooms. Rotten trees. Pokeweed. Your homework. Nice, Uncle Tom. Jelly beans and licorice. Cannabis stems. Yeah, man. That's cool. I mean, like, if you, like, actually make it, like, out there, like, could you put those, like, in there? Beer. Yep. Beer. It's actually best if you pass it through the kidneys first. Dryer lint. Yes, you can, but dryer lint often has a bunch of artificial, like, bits of, like, microplasticky stuff in it. Deer carcasses. I think we're getting a lot of animal carcasses here. Dead birds. Yes. Nails, you can. It's not great. Slow release iron. Fingernails, maybe. Spoiled produce. Yep, got that. Bermuda grass. Yes, you can. Dead cell bugs. Ew, that's gross. Liposuction fat sack. Gross. Wild fermented. Okay, so we're getting the idea here. And now here's two more for you. Peanut hulls and cotton gin trash. Baby teeth, biochar, ashes. There you go, ashes. We hadn't done ashes yet. Gosh, man, you guys are fast. Live worms. Well, I guess, I mean, they'll work there. Yeah, Z-words. That's the only good use for them. Fryer oil, I would not, because it kind of gums the soil up. Cicadas. Dave's fetid swamp water. Banana trunk. Man, yes. Fish tank water. Man, look at this. It just keeps going and going. I've got over, we must be, oh, crab and oyster shells. Yep. Sugarcane fiber is called bagasse. Hay. Yep, we got the hair and seaweed already, and chicken manure. Salmon you forgot to cook. Dog fur, sure. Hornworms. Fingers, you could feed them fingers, yeah. Mulberry leaves. Kind of like falls under leaves, but I mean we could keep naming different types of leaves. Humanure, there's a good one. Yep. Chicken guts. Straw. Limbs. Human or otherwise. Bad neighbors. So you guys are getting this here, right? Yep, we got water hyacinth. Yeah, refrigerator clean out anytime. Old potting soil. Oh yeah, that's the apple waste. Halloween candy. It's better than eating it. Feeds the fungi. Yep, I got fish tank water. Yes, legumes. Blood. Yes. Pine cones. Slowly they break down. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop. That's enough. That's enough. No, stop. Stop. It's enough. Yeah, there is a lot. There's a lot of there's a lot of potential. All right. Since you keep bringing it up, Christopher, this was sent to me. You guys. There you go. Come on, where are we? There we go. This is Christopher sent this to me. Just because she was dead didn't mean she was useless. Compost Girl. 1,250 blockbuster pages. Wow. You guys. The stuff that gets emailed to me. Where does this dark streak come from? So. Yep, Dave fitted swamp water from last year. Granite dust. Oh, there's another good one. Man, alive. So many things here. So. Anyhow, there are a lot of things that you can feed to your gardens. There are a lot of things that you can feed to your gardens for free. Yogurt. Yeah, yogurt's good. Beneficial bacteria there. Yeah, what? Who sells Compost Your Enemy shirts? Oh, yeah, I should send you guys a link to that. I don't know. I don't know where this dark streak comes from, you guys. But I was thinking, as I was working in the garden today, I was thinking, man, there's really no need. There's the Compost Your Enemy shirts. I just dropped it into the thread. There's really no need to buy any food for your garden. You could scavenge pretty much everything you need. You can feed your gardens for free. As a matter of fact, I did a movie a few years ago, like a full length, like 45 minutes or something like that, called 7 Ways to Feed Your Garden for Free. It was like a full on production where I went through different amendments and different things you could feed to your garden for free. Now, that's not to say that I always feed my gardens with free materials. If I can get them, I do. But I don't always. I don't always feed my gardens for free. But when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Oh, yes, thank you. AM says, I ordered Everglades tomato seeds from your daughter's Etsy shop. So excited. Well, great. She was just thrilled to get the orders yesterday. Thank you for everybody who ordered some of those. She still has some. I'm just going to drop the link there. If you want to get some of the Everglades tomato seeds, well, Daisy still has them. Daisy is my daughter, and this is her new business. She is selling seeds. So I'm very proud of her. She's been fermenting and saving and putting them aside and making envelopes and stuff. So it's really cool. And you guys are great to support her. Plus, it's hard to find Everglades tomato seeds, so it's cool. It's cool that she's doing it. But in your garden, say you're totally broke, right? You don't have to go out and buy organic fertilizers or chemical fertilizers. There are always products for sale. There's always products. There's pelletized this and slow release this, and there's processed, blood meal, right? Bone meal, blood meal. It's hilarious to me that the people that would never think of burying a dead squirrel underneath their tomato plant would go and buy bone meal or blood meal because it says to do it in an organic gardening book. Gosh, I would never. I don't know. It's kind of gross to plant a squirrel. Then you go out and buy slaughter waste. You can, I have discovered, like the way I'm growing my pumpkins this year, you could dig a hole, you could light a fire in it, burn down some scrap wood to ashes, burn down some sticks to ashes, so you've got some ashes in the bottom there. There's your little pH raiser. Raises your pH a little bit, provides some potassium, calcium, some trace elements. Throw in the scraps from your kitchen. There's an old lasagna full of meat, whatever. There's some fish heads. There's that old freezer burned steak that couldn't stand to throw away because it was expensive, but the package got ripped open, and now I know it's going to taste like horrible frozen cardboard. You take that and you throw it all in a pit. You bury a bit of soil over the top of it. It starts rotting down inside of there. And I'll tell you, those plants will grow all season on a steak. There's actually a lot of soil fertility in a steak. People are like, oh my gosh, you can't compost meat. You don't want to put that in there. You actually do. Because it's full of nitrogen. Protein is predominantly, it's got a ton of nitrogen in it. It breaks down into nitrogen. So you could just tear a hole in the ground, throw your kitchen scraps in it. It's no big deal. You can grow food without spending money on fertilizer. Free fertilizer is everywhere. In the thumbnail to this video, I've got an image of one of my favorite trees, Royal Poinciana. A Royal Poinciana tree. The Royal Poinciana tree is a nitrogen-fixing tree. The nitrogen fixation has been a little disputed in the past, but I think they pretty much figured out it's a nitrogen fixer. It's a nitrogen-fixing tree. It makes these great big, beautiful bean pods. They're like this big, and you can use it for shakers. It has gorgeous flowers on it. They grow very fast. You can chop them and drop them on the ground again and again and again and let them rot down, and they will feed the ground. There's a lot of weeds that you could chop up and feed the ground. A lot of your invasive trees, You chop up the pieces and you let them rot down. And it just, there's food. Food for the garden right there, and it's free. Right here, where I live, there's kudzu growing. The vine that ate the South. Kudzu was planted as a nitrogen fixer to repair poor soil. Well, there was a lot of damaged poor soil apparently in the South because kudzu ate the southern United States. The vines are everywhere. You find them by the sides of the road and everything. It looks like a bean vine. Big triple leaf shape. But the thing is now everybody thinks any vigorous vine, people are like, that's kudzu. When I was a kid, there were bitter melons growing on the fence. Bitter gourd, also known as balsam pear. It's a cucurbit that has medicinal uses. They were growing on the fence, and we called them kudzu when we were kids. We thought it was kudzu, but it was just a wild form of bitter melon. Kudzu, that's kudzu. But that kudzu is full of nitrogen. In a future video, I'm going to go yank some kudzu off the roadside and turn it into garden fertilizer. Since my daughter was young, she has been chopping up all kinds of leaves, like moringa leaves, and beans, and grasses, and making compost teas to feed to her flower gardens. She's been a flower gardener since she was little. And there's always these stinking buckets of slop. But it's just fetid swamp water. She lets it rot down for a while, and then she goes around, she pours some of it in a watering can, goes around, waters everything. So all that fertility that was in those weeds, the minerals they picked up, have now rotted and, rotted down into there. And you can pour it in your gardens. Carolyn says, will the homemade fertilizer good nutrition? I think you mean, will it give you good nutrition? Now, here's the thing. Before I read Steve Solomon's book, The Intelligent Gardener. The Intelligent Gardener is on growing nutrient-dense food. Before I read his book, The Intelligent Gardener, I knew that plants needed a wide range of minerals, and I was very scattershot about it. I would just try to figure out, okay, well, this thing here has got nitrogen in it, and I know that this plant is good for potassium, like, banana peels, right? I've heard that some deep tap-rooted plants pull up phosphorus. So what I would try to do is get different sources, different plants, and mix them together into my weed teas. I figured that the chicken manure was going to be high in various things. Whatever's in the chicken feed is probably passing through. I figured, well, I'll throw a little bit of Epsom salts in there because I know they're going to like that magnesium and that sulfur. So, you go and I would just sort of spread out. I throw coffee grounds in there. Coffee grounds are coming from really nice soil, often volcanic soil. This coffee ground's got to have some trace elements in them. But I was really scattershot about it. If you want to mineralize your gardens, like you want to get the most minerals possible, you usually have to reach a little farther. So, this last year, now that I'm back in the States and I can get trace elements, and we have the world of capitalism here, which allows you to get anything you want, like T-posts. I couldn't get T-posts down in the Caribbean. Nobody had them. Why don't you use T-posts? Well, because you can't get them. That's why I'm using rebar for everything. Why don't you buy such and such product? Can't get it. Why don't you use diatomaceous earth? Can't get it. No, these things aren't down there. So, if you wanted those things, you had to import them and get charged ridiculous, exorbitant import fees plus ridiculous, exorbitant shipping. So you might be paying like $30 each per T-post by the time you get T-posts. It's insane. You just don't want to do it. So now that I'm back in the States, I've been experimenting with, okay, how can I get all those micronutrients for my garden? How can I ensure that I have good teeth until I'm really old? How can I ensure that my wife, who is carrying a little baby inside of her right now, is getting the best nutrition out of the garden? How can I ensure that my children are getting the best, what they need? Our diet and our health are very closely linked. You can literally eat yourself into the grave. I remember Rachel's grandmother saying that, well, so-and-so and so-and-so, they dug their grave with a fork and a spoon. They died young because they ate badly. And it's true. I went to the dentist for the first time in 20 years when I came back to the States. I hadn't been to the dentist since I was about 20, so I'm 40. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the dentist. I'll get my teeth cleaned because I had it's like they get a little dark around the edges. I'm like, that can't be good. They're getting like a little dark. I don't like that. It's sort of weird. I want that cleaned up. So, there was this good dentist, and they said, well, we'll clean your teeth and all the kids' teeth and give you a discount if you bring everybody in at once. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went in and I get my teeth cleaned. And they said, when's the last time you came to the dentist? I said, well, it's been 20 years. Oh, no. You need to come to the dentist every year. You should be at the dentist every year. And I said, well, do I have any cavities? No, you don't have any cavities, but you should be coming in. I said, I'll see you in another 20 years. When I was 18 years old, I read a book on nutrition. Totally changed the way I thought. The book was called Maximum Energy. And he's like, stop drinking soda. Stop eating all that white flour. Stop eating all that processed meat. Do this. And it just introduced me to the idea of, what you fuel your body with is what your body will grow on, right? So if you don't have the right things, you'll be sick because your body is not able to make what it needs to take care of you. Some years ago, 15 years ago or so, I had, or more, I had taken a job in the Nashville area. I didn't have a place to stay, so I stayed with a family that were friends of ours for a little while. And they had a nice little son who was about 2 years old. Sweet little kid. But he always had earaches, runny nose, always problems. And I remember they took him in to have some sort of an operation to drain his ears or something like that because he always had problems. But I had read a little bit on nutrition even then in my 20s, and I realized this kid didn't eat anything but Fruit Loops. I mean, I don't think he ate anything at all except for Fruit Loops. So all day long, this little kid's walking around eating Fruit Loops, right? I was like, oh. But I didn't say anything. I'm not like, maybe you should give your kid some kelp or something. Ugh. But I'll tell you what. If you feed your garden good stuff, your garden will feed you good stuff. So if you're just growing in sand and you just throw down 10, well, I guess you'll get phosphorus in your diet. You'll get potassium in your diet. But you're not going to get all the trace elements that would give you excellent health. You're a little short on zinc, a little short on selenium, a little short on molybdenum, a little short on copper, a little short on all kinds of things that we don't even know what the body's doing with it, but we know it uses it. Your garden, if you fuel your garden with good stuff, your garden will fuel you with good stuff, and you will taste the difference in the food. I noticed such a huge difference when we did our taste tests. And there was a size difference in the vegetables. And there was a richness of flavor that was different from amendment bed to amendment bed. And there was just a richness to the beds that we had given a lot of micronutrients. So if you're thinking, I will feed all of my gardens for free, I believe that in many situations you could probably get most of what you need for free. You're going to get your macros from obvious stuff like ashes. You'll get your your nitrogen from, say, chicken manure. You could get your slow release nitrogen you could get from hair. You could cut your hair and dig it in the garden. But some of those micros are a little harder. Now, if you live near the ocean and you could go pick up seaweed, if you could go gather seaweed off the beach, excellent. If you can get guts from ocean fish and till them under, dig them deep into the garden, or ferment them down and use them as a fertilizer, excellent. If you can bury wild game that has gathered nutrition from all over a big area, when the bones and the muscles and everything break down, there's going to be all those micronutrients that was in that animal. Keeping the animal alive is going to end up in your garden. It's not the easiest way to feed a big garden, though. So what you want to do if you're going to get free fertilizer is try to not say, okay, here's what I'm going to feed my gardens. Coffee grounds. Nothing but coffee grounds. Give them some coffee grounds. Give them some ashes. Give them some seaweed. Give them some weed tea. Just chop up a bunch of weeds, let it rot down, pour it in there. And, take your kitchen scraps. Throw all your kitchen scraps there. One thing about kitchen scraps that I always thought was interesting. Our diet here in the United States, it's probably the same for most of you overseas too. It depends on how localized your food supply. But a lot of the food supply is not local. Which means, say, if your sweet corn was grown on better soil, glacial soil, some of the nutrients from the soil come through into that sweet corn. And then they got shipped 1,600 miles down to your local supermarket. You eat the corn, then you throw the cobs in the compost pile. Well, you've just added some of the trace minerals from a different soil. Your soil is going to be lacking certain things, but another soil may have those pieces. You got some papaya from Hawaii. Hawaii's got volcanic soil. Good tasting papaya from Hawaii. A lot of fruit from Hawaii tastes delicious. It's got that volcanic soil. You take the scraps, you throw that in your compost, you've just added a little bit of the micronutrients from that region. A little bit. You get something from here and something from there and something from here, eggs from over here and this from over here and this from over here, and pretty soon you've pieced together bits and pieces of micronutrients from different areas. It's not as precise as measuring in a lab and saying, okay, what exactly am I missing? And then buying the crystalline salts. I'm going to get sodium molybdate. I'm going to get potassium sulfate. These different things. You may not be able to balance in that sense, but you are getting micronutrients. And the wider you spread out what you're getting, the better. For example, I bought some alfalfa. Now, if I was trying to get free fertilizer, I could go and sweep up alfalfa probably from a feed store. Sometimes, they'll let you sweep up what's there and compost it. But this alfalfa was grown in the Yellowstone area. So it's grown on volcanic soil, and it says so on the side. Good for horses. Grown on volcanic soil. Well, guess what? I tilled that sack of alfalfa into my grocery row gardens. Now my grocery row gardens have a little bit of the nutrients from volcanic soil, as well as the main nutrient in that alfalfa, which was nitrogen. So if you are going out and hunting for stuff from all over the place and scattering it through, you're getting a pretty good spread there. If you do the kind of freaky thing that I've said you can do, that is still sort of a little weird, and you save your own urine or you compost human manure, then all of the food that is coming into your system, all the trace elements that your body's like, nah, I got too much of that, and expels, if you compost all that material, you can feed it back to your trees, or feed it to your gardens if you compost it well. So, looking at, free fertilizer being everywhere, if you're going to go foraging, go foraging just from all over the place. get bits and pieces from everywhere that you can, so your garden is going to be thriving on it. You may end up with an imbalance if you simply feed with one thing. Like if you just did nothing but throw banana peels on your garden, you might have too much potassium and too little of something else. Maybe you don't have enough magnesium. So there's a ton of free stuff out there. Gardening is not something that has to take the money that we think it has to take. Gardening doesn't have to be expensive. People make it expensive. People make everything expensive. It's like you're sold stuff for everything. And you don't have to. You don't have to. Usually, when you use copper tools for the garden, they add a little bit of another metal to alloy it to make it stronger. It doesn't, it's not pure copper, but I've heard it's pretty cool. Joe says human manure needs to be composted for 2 or 3 years before it's safe to use on your garden or fields. Right? Not necessarily. If you dig a trench and you put human manure right into it, it's pretty safe, so long as it doesn't flood. I'm going to answer some questions here. That was what I wanted to share with you guys. And I wanted to see what we could come up with a little list. So here we go. Now that we have the list, I am going to do something here. I'm going to go through the entire list of amendments. You guys ready? Let's see here. If I can zoom out. Sorry, it's not as easy to zoom out when I'm holding a guitar. Okay, here we go. Things you can feed your garden. A song by David the Good. Things you can feed to your garden include this list. Listen closely so nothing is missed. You can feed enemies and biscuits and cardboard and ham. You can feed seaweed and dog poop and weeds and roadkill. You can feed urine and leaves, rabbit droppings and potato plants, fish, grass clippings, comfrey and mimosa. You can feed beet greens, you can feed plants, and you can feed pets. You can feed chicken bones, chicken manure, and banana peel tea. You can feed fish waste, you can feed water hyacinth. You can feed all your leftovers and coffee grounds and your dead chickens and buried food scraps. You can even feed sushi and leftover meatloaf, fruitcake, duckweed hair, fruit scraps and small sticks, rotten eggs, wild mushrooms, and old potato salad. You can spend brewer's grain and smushed bugs, cardboard, salt water, catfish heads, and molds. You can feed all these things to your garden, and you know that we're just starting on this list. Is there anything that I missed? Well, yes, there is. There's an entire column left to read. Well, you can feed eggshells and armadillos, junk mail, sawdust, oyster mushrooms, and rotten trees and pokeweed, and your homework and cannabis stems. You can give it beer and dryer lint and deer carcasses and dead birds and nails and shredded paper and ashes and biochar and live worms. Z-word, cicadas, Dave's fed it swamp water and a banana trunk, and fish tank water, crab and oyster shells, bagasse and hay, and dog food and fingers, dog food, mulberry leaves, human manure and chicken guts. These are things you can feed to your garden. It's a great big list of free. You can feed bad neighbors in old potting soil and apple waste, and Halloween candy and legumes and blood. And there's just 2 things left on the list, and they both can't be missed. And that's pine cones and granite dust. These are all things you can feed to your garden that are free. And being really cheap appeals to me. Do 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 do. Try it and you'll see. There we go. How's that? Why do you guys watch David the Good? Does he always do these songs? I feel like it's not real content, these songs. I don't get it. He should stop singing. Potato salad. So there we go. That's the list you guys gave me here. I don't think you should have the Z word anywhere around you, Bob. It is a corrupting influence. Tilby says, my wife is freaking out about her bougainvilleas, planted right before the heavy rain started here in Florida. She read they like dry soil and thinks the rain is killing them. Well, fortunately, the soil in Florida has very good drainage. They'll probably be fine. Inspiring. Hashtag excellent. Teabags were not in the song. I watched T to the G for the articles. Well, I remember one time I was short on money, and when I was in college, and I had a friend who was a bass player. Stand-up bass. He was in like the music program. I was just in the art program. I was bottom of the barrel. And we stood out on the pass-through area between where everybody got out for classes and walked through. And I played guitar, and he played stand-up bass, and we raised enough money for lunch in like a half an hour. People throwing money to us. It was cool. It was fun. So, Karen, thank you very much for the super chat. I will sing for tips. That was great, David. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. You are an encourager. So, Nat Green, we don't want to hear about the evil things that you're doing in your house. I mean, I believe in a certain level of personal freedom, but I don't think it should spill over into other people's lives. Yes, he said dog fur. I sung it dog food. It made me laugh because I realized I read it wrong. The title is clickbait? No, it's not. We just talked about it. Where were you, David? Come on, you're a David. You're better than this. Scott says, just ordered some Everglades tomato seeds. Tell your entrepreneurial daughter. Thank you. Looking forward to growing them. Oh, they're so good. They're so much fun. And they're great. If you guys want to buy Everglades tomato seeds for my daughter, here is my daughter's Etsy shop. So. Anyhow, guys. The garden food song needs to make the CD. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a dubious gift, but like being able to freestyle rap over the breakdown in an Alanis Morissette song. It's not necessarily proud of it, but I can do it. So, anyhow, guys, I wanted to talk about the Befimerator, the biochar grinder charger. Got a lot of good input on the design. And so I think the Mark II, the things that I'm hearing here, I listen to my audience. We here at David the God Industries, We respond to market research. We listened to you, and that's why we put cheese inside of waffles. Because you asked for it. What I'm hearing is it needs a hopper. It needs a hopper, and it needs some sort of flow through. And the problem is with the flow through, you have to have water running in this thing for it to grind. So pouring it in is a little bit inefficient. So what multiple people also said it should have a sink, but the deal is we have proof of concept now. We've got proof of concept. Of course, we already had proof of concept because Harriet Kimball was doing it. But now we have D to the G, proof of concept. Okay, we shredded kitchen scraps and biochar together. It works. But it would be nice to have water flowing into it. But I don't want to just hook the hose up to it. I don't want to just throw, regular water in it. I want the water to be part of the charging. That's what makes it different. I want it to be a charger as well. So what I was thinking is making a compost or fetid swamp water barrel, making it taller than on a stand, right? And so I could turn on the little faucet and it feeds down into the bottom of the incinerator because the garbage disposal has a little feed on the side where water can go in. So I could turn the water on a trickle so the water is always running in there and just start throwing stuff in there and then turn it up if I need to. So it's blowing that through. But if I had a 55-gallon drum full of compost tea, I could make it so it feeds down on a tube with a, put it on a stand, feeds down with a tube, and it feeds the system. That would be cool. I don't like the idea of a sink as much as I liked the idea of a hopper. I'm thinking if we had a hopper, right now there's that little rubber inset thing in there so you're not stupid and you don't stick your hand in and shred your fingers off. So we could take that little silly thing out of there and we could just have a hopper that feeds directly into it. So instead of a sink, it's just you just start throwing stuff in there, right? And then we just smash it in with a stick. So the hopper would have to be robust enough for me to smash things into it. But the water could continually be trickling into the side. So I should probably apply for a research grant. Because I'm also thinking I should probably up the compactor. This compactor was a 0.5 horsepower. I wanted to see if it would work. It works fine. But what if I put a 1 horsepower? Twice the power, and then I had a water feed going to it, and I come up with some sort of a hopper design where we could just throw slop into it and grind it, throw the char bits in there and grind it. I also realized, too, that our biochar burn, it's got too much gravel in it. So I need to float the biochar. If I dump all the biochar into a kiddie pool or something and then scrape it off the top again, put it in water, the biochar tends to float to the surface. So I could just scrape all that stuff off and all the pebbles will fall out of it. So I'm going to do that too so I don't burn that machine out. A traffic cone maybe, but I think something harder would be better. Yeah, like the funnel on a chipper. So, yeah, we need to be peer reviewed to get a research grant. I cannot tell you how much I despise experts and scientists. I really can't. I would take backyard gardeners any day. Scientists are likely to kill all of us. Backyard gardeners are not. Dillweed, welcome. New member. New member. Dillweed. One of the best weeds, but watch out for swallowtails. So, I think we could build this thing. Am I an expert? I'm an expert and so are you. Yeah, I'm an expert, but I'm not an expert on everything. Crowdfund it. I actually figured out it's not going to cost that much. I think it's about $250. If I upped the horsepower and I buy the plumbing equipment, and I would probably have to make... There has to be some way to mount the system well, so I would still have to mount it to something. But it's got to be robust enough. It's got to be like a stronger table. Kickstarter. Yeah. I'm going to make the incinerator that it's just ridiculous though. Like what are you going to do? Yeah, like, you know, everybody that funds this Kickstarter will get a signed picture of me standing next to the Befemerator Mark II. Sign up now. Who was it? Was it Jack Spurko that raised like $50 bazillion for his food forest? No, it's, you know, I'll plant a tree for you. I don't know. But you could, it would be easy to do. I think it costs about $250. I could probably use the incinerator that I have now. It's probably strong enough, but it was struggling a bit. Didn't seem to like corn cobs for some reason. I don't know. Ice cream cone. Like a giant ice cream cone. You know, like those killing cones they use for chickens, probably. Oh, I shouldn't say that. We could get demonetized. We don't kill chickens on this channel. We're vegans. Yeah, it's the scientism. I agree, Love Cat. I love, like, I love hard science. I like things that work, and I would say engineering. I love engineering. I like things that work and how they work. But I don't like this, I'm a scientist, I know better than you type of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, ask, should we do this? People are always doing that. Should we do this? Should we do this? No, yeah, of course. We're just going to do it because we can. Some things are really bad ideas. There's some things you probably shouldn't do. Sean says, did you see the vegan teacher got caught with a turkey when grocery shopping? I had somebody tell me that the sound of a chicken in the background of my visit to Elizabeth's garden, the sound of a chicken is disgusting to many of us. I'm like, the sound of a chicken is disgusting? Like, oh my gosh, it's a vegan. Well, that's bizarre. There's an animal in a cage. Yeah, well, if it wasn't in the cage, the coyotes would have got her already, so. An old feed mill grinder. It's not a bad idea. I'd get in trouble if I stay on too long. A wood chipper feeding into the compost tea water tower, feeding into the Bephemus, feeding into the collection bucket. Somebody is going to give me... Somebody said they're giving me a hammer mill, a friend of mine. I hope that actually happens. He said, do you want a hammer mill? You could make anything into food with it. Or you could pelletize anything. I'm like, you could pelletize anything? I will pelletize everything. I want to pelletize the whole world. Pelletize. Those things are cool. Hammer mills? Yeah. Pelletize. Yeah. That's right. Martha says, apparently, Martha, I love you. Martha says, apparently his village was attacked by a killer chicken when he was little and he's never recovered. Martha wins the internet for today. Well, I could hear it's pouring outside now. Crazy. Rachel was roasting potatoes. I can smell them. And I don't feel like I should go eat them because I've been trying to low carb it lately. Sean says, what about a hopper built out of scrap wood or something? That's a good idea. Wouldn't be too hard to do. Dana said, where did you get your cotton meal for free? The cottonseed meal, there's what's called gin trash. And basically it's left over the pressings that there are cotton farms around. I don't have any that I got for free, but a gardener was telling me the other day that he gets it by the cart full, like they'll load a whole trailer full of it. I thought that's really good, and he had some beautiful tomatoes. So demise of live chickens. A pool cover pump for rainwater removal and a paint strainer bag would provide a slow DFSW flow into the disposer. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she roasted the potatoes. They stepped out of line. No, it's one of those like friendly roasts. Like, ha ha ha. Oh, potato. You know, it's like they yeah. Well. Anybody have any final gardening questions or anything? I can smell those potatoes roasting. I'm not gonna eat them. Nope. Well, it's been a good time hanging with my good gardeners. But the time has to go away. There is an end to everything. There is an end to when I sing. Every good thing comes to an end except good gardening friends. Oh yeah. Yeah, just standard 30 to 40 grams of carbs. I probably get that from my vegetables. Well, guys, have a very good night. I will catch you all later. I did film today planting some cassava. I didn't really have any point to the video, but I think it's entertaining. Probably like most of my videos. No point. But I can't stop watching. But yeah, I had to get ahead of the rain and get some stuff planted, but it's planted. I will edit the video. I'll probably post it on Monday. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're going to do because it's going to be raining all day. And normally on Saturday, this is the day I go around and like film projects and do stuff. I want to do a video on the Everglades tomatoes and how they grow. I'm a little afraid, you know, my daughter's going to be too successful at her Etsy store selling Everglades tomato seeds. She has been very diligent. She had like a 5-gallon bucket of like she'd fermenting the seeds in it. It's amazing. But she sent out a whole ton of seeds today. So if you ordered Everglades tomato seeds in the last day or two, she shipped all those today. So hopefully it's in the post office's capable hands now. So have a great night. I will catch you guys next time. And until then, may your thumbs always be green.